All right, everybody, we're back again, and this time I'm going without the mask. You probably could hear me a lot better. I've got the milk chocolate here, and the dark chocolate, when I had worked with that a few minutes ago, the temper was right on with just that partial melt, and it set up really fast, so I couldn't wait for you, and I had to go ahead and cut them. So I just found a cutter that fit those cups, the chocolate cups that you have, perfectly. And so now I've got the milk chocolate here, and I figured I'd seed it this time. I'll do the seeding method, and again, use your thermometer. I am just going to use my years of experience. So when you melt this chocolate you melt to 113, 115. It's a lower temperature than the dark chocolate. So everything is blended in there, it's all melted. So I'm going to go back and check it. And I'm going to shut my water off here. I shouldn't need that again, so I'm going to set it aside. And I want to be careful, I don't want to go on the middle of the stove, but I'm going to use it just to raise this up. And I'm going to throw in some of these as my seeds now. And as they melt, you'll get the beta crystals that you want. So we want to crystallize this, and at the same time get that temperature down into the working range. And on this particular one, I'm going to shoot for about 86 degrees. It should feel cool to the touch. So this is really nice, this chocolate with the big, they call them chalets. These are really good size, so it works great for seeding. If you had to remove them, if it got cool enough where they don't continue to melt, you want to take those pieces out, you can. And then I could warm it up slightly over my hot water. So there's still a little bit in there, it hasn't fully melted. We're just going to keep an eye on them. And if they stop melting, then you know you're down in that range. And this is a very simple version. You know, you could do tabling if you have a nice marble slab and you want to put half of your chocolate on there and mix it around with one of those things you use for drywall, or you can use a bench scraper. But if you're doing it on your nice marble or granite at home, if it's got any bad edges on that scraper, you'll damage it. So you want to be very, very careful. The ones that we have here behind me, we bought those for doing that exact thing, so we're not very concerned about that. Okay, so it's getting pretty cool. There's still a couple little chunks in there, so I'm going to just check the temperature. And I'm probably right around 95 degrees there, so it's not quite cool enough. I'm going to just toss in 2 of them. And if they don't fully melt, I'll take them out. So I've got those 2 in there. We're just going to continue to stir. I'm away from the heat. It's perfectly cool over here on the side. And because we're just going to simply put it on there, I don't need to warm this up once I get it to that point where I want it to be. If you're going to fill molds, you'd want to warm it up to, that maybe 86 to 88 degrees for this particular milk chocolate. That way it's more fluid. Otherwise, if it's too cool, you would end up getting really thick shells. So, but not an issue for this. Because we've got those pre-made chocolate cups, it doesn't matter. We're just going to spread it on there thin, cut out our circles, and then put them on top of those cups. So they're melting, but very slowly. So we're getting close to the temperature where we want to be. I'm just going to feel it again. Yeah, we're down there at maybe around 88, 89. So we've got to come down a little bit more. And as it's starting to set on the bowl, you want to work that right in, because those will be your beta crystals that we're trying to make those grow. So I still have those pieces in there, and they're about half the size they were when I put them in. So because they're still melting, I know it's just slightly warm. Check it. Now it's getting down there. should feel cool to your touch. You figure you're 98 degrees, then if you want to get it down to 90, it should actually feel cool. And right now it's room temperature, not quite cool yet. And one thing we could do is we could do a test. I'll set it right there. Let me just take my spatula, and to test if it's ready, it should set up within 5 minutes with no streaks. So we want to give it a good stir here. And then I'll just go ahead and get a little bit on there. And then I'll just set this right here, and hopefully you can see that. I'll pull it back a little bit. I'll just put it right up on top of here. I just want to make sure that it's cool where I put it. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep stirring this. And I still have those pieces of seed in there that'll help crystallize this. And then I'm going to take another check on the temperature. It is quite cool now. So while that's setting, I'm going to go ahead, because I'm feeling pretty confident about this temperature, I'm going to go ahead and spread this on there. Just a moment. I don't know if you can see it okay up here. I'll move it forward. It hasn't started to set yet. But you can see it's thickened quite a bit. And I still have a couple little bits of chocolate in there, and they should be just fine. So this is just starting to set right there. So it was slightly warm at the time. I wanted to set a little bit quicker than that. So if you're concerned, just toss one more in. We could work around that one. Right now I just want to get that and move that around and get those crystals that are at the right temperature, because whenever you buy chocolate, it's already tempered. So we've got the crystals in there that we need. They also sell some other product. They sell beta crystals. They sell them that looks just like cocoa butter, and you can buy a bag of it. It's very expensive, but you melt your chocolate down and you cool it down a little bit, and then throw about 10% of those crystals in there. Just let it sit. And then at the end, you'll stir it, and you'll have perfectly crystallized chocolate. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and spread this chocolate, this milk chocolate, on top of my acetate. And you'll find you'll have two pieces of transfer sheet, so the acetate with the design on it. And if you can see me just fine, I'm going to go ahead. And remember, I have that one big piece of chocolate in there that I had just added. Just going to push that to the back and add my chocolate on here now. Okay, so of course I went right in, and that piece of chocolate slid down, and it was right in that spot that I took. Put that back in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and spread this now. And you should be able to see that silpat. I went and took that silpat, and I glued it down with a little bit of pan spray, a little bit of grease, but you could put a dot of butter on if you want. But oil's a little better in case that butter sets up on you. Okay, so we're done there. We're going to bang it. Okay, as you can see, the temper was really good on the dark ones, because that one jumped out. It was not time for that, but we'll put it right there. It's got a beautiful shine on it. So we're going to let this start to set. And it's got to set to where it is it's like thick, it's set, but it is not hard where it'll crack. You have to catch it right in that exact time. There's a really short window of time, so be ready. I have my cutter right here. I can see that it's setting on the outside, so that's a good sign. Normally we put these in the refrigerator and we chill them before we unmold them, because they unmold a lot shinier, but not the case with these. These came out beautiful. The shine looks great. So I can see it setting up, so we know we have a good temper. It was only a couple of minutes since we put that on. So now I gotta wait till it's not sticky, and then we'll cut those out, and then we're gonna put them on our chocolate cups, and that's it. So a couple more minutes here. While we're waiting on that, we might as well go ahead and I'll turn this over. I'm just going to turn it over right here on the table, because you can see the shine on there. It's that pan spray that I put on. So do set yours up in the refrigerator. Give it at least 5 minutes in the refrigerator, because you know, I got lucky that when they separated nice and shiny like that. But the refrigerator really helps with that. And you can see I don't usually waste these either. If I'm decorating something, sometimes I'll just break some pieces up and just put a little abstract piece on there. So please save those for a dessert plating. Now this is ready to go, so I want to cut these. So we're just going to go in, press firmly, and give it a little bit of a twist.